August 13th, 1995. The moment had come. We were on our way to Norway. The Halifax salvage operation was now a reality. Dacon had concluded that they could lift the plane from a depth of 750 feet. It wasn't going to be easy. We all knew it, but it was important. It was important to the veterans. It was important to the young people who would someday see the plane in the Trenton Museum. It was important to all of us. We knew that if we succeeded, the record of what we had done would be talked about for many years to come. If we failed, it would be a heartbreaker. Arriving from Paris, we were met by Doug Rutley and Tor Marceau. Doug was representing the Canadian Armed Forces. His technical crew would be disassembling the plane once it had reached the beach. In 1945, when the plane had crash-landed on the lake, it had broken into two pieces. As we arrived in Hamar, the tail section was being lifted from the waters of Lake Mjosa. Arriving in Hamar, Norway, the Dacon team is about to lift the first piece of the aircraft, the tail section. Karl meets with Tor Marceau and Lieutenant Doug Rutley of the Canadian Armed Forces. Doug's team of professional engineers will be arriving soon to become part of the recovery team.
Calm conditions, just like now?
Calm, yes.
Well, that's what we need, because as long as the wind doesn't blow, we're going to have it done on schedule. But we'll just have to hope for the best and make sure that if we have to, we'll work at night, huh? Because obviously the wind is going to be a little bit less at night.
When the plane sank, the tail section broke off from the main body. Dacon believed lifting this piece was the first logical step in the project schedule. Using the ROV, Doug attaches cables to the rear bulkheads, and slowly but surely the tail section is lifted from the water.
It's just marvelous. Seeing the Halifax out of the water like that, the tail, it's in remarkably good condition considering all it's been through. I'm really looking forward to bringing it back home and putting it back together, putting it on display. That would be just super.
The next morning, Karl and his son Jonathan meet with Garda to inspect the tail's condition as it lay at the Hias water plant. Garda was more than eager to supply a landing area at the beach and a storage facility for the project.
4 machine guns.
Oh, the bullets.
Yeah, 303s. You can see the belts of machine gun bullets in there. And I wonder how far back the bullets go. So this is Thomas Waitman's office. You know Thomas Waitman, Newcastle?
When we asked why he was providing his storage facility for free, Garda told us that in World War II, his uncle had been trained as a navigator for the RAF at a place called Little Norway, or as we know it today, Toronto Island Airport. Damage from the crash is evident as Karl inspects the tail's condition, noting its remarkable ability to survive the elements.
Look at this. Look down here. Hardly any corrosion at all. So you can see where it's been in the mud. See, it's down in the mud? But it's good. Good preservation down there. See, look at this. Look at this fitting.
Whoa. There's no corrosion at all.
There's no corrosion on that. Those screws are like brand new.
So oxygen available.
Yeah, see the mud where there's no oxygen? The mud has preserved it.
Down by the lake, the lifting device named Moby Grip has arrived at dockside.
These are custom fit to the inside, the curvature underneath the wing of the Halifax profile of the wing. And so it's gonna be slid under the wing The main spar, front main spar will be here, and the rear main spar will be here, and that will support the spars will take the force of the lift.
So this is the type of aircraft, the Halifax, that was used on the night of April 23rd, 24th for a supply drop in this area.
That's right, Tony. The aircraft flying from Torret Rushton in England came in on a track here, circled and dropped their supplies to the Norwegian underground at Mikkelsberget, then flew on a track back towards England, obviously. Was unfortunate enough to fly right over Minnesund, which is where the bridge is that goes over the narrow part of Lake Mjosa. There was an anti-aircraft battery that was mounted at the bridge, and unfortunately the aircraft battery engaged the aircraft, hit the starboard wing, starboard engine caught fire. The captain, or the pilot, turned north and flew up the lake. I think probably up here somewhere he lost another engine, and at that time made the decision to ditch his aircraft or land his aircraft in the lake itself. Turning, actually went over the city of Hamar, and then turned south again to go into the wind, which was the right thing to do.
Yes, it came back because it had a southerly wind.
Yes.
It was landing against the southerly wind, and we could see all the small parts which is ripped off in the touchdown.
Yes.
We have in one position, more or less, and the airplane is 100 meters northwest of that position. That means that after the plane had ditched, it was floating.
It was
back in the winds again.
driven back by the wind,
Yes.
past the touchdown point.
Yes.
So it floated after the main
Yes.
body touched down.
Mm.
Ah, okay.
So it was not quite sure of how could the plane be in one position and all the other parts in
Yes.
the other position. And
Yes.
then we get information about that, and every pieces went. We knew
And it
how-
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for us.
Yes. Huh. Well, we had many varied reports of what happened and how they touched down, but we're here today, and now we're gonna retrieve everything.
Mhm.
Huh? Good.
Tor Marceau invited Karl to the monument created in the memory of 5 airmen who had died in the freezing waters of Lake Mjosa.
All the names of the guys?
Yeah, of guys, yes. And the one missing.
Yep. 23rd of April, 1995, dedicated.
Yes. No, it was a little later.
Yes.
But it was put up a little later. It was the 17th of May.
Yep. Wow. And you got the Hercules engines on
Yes,
it.
yes, on it, yes.
Yes, accurate.
Yeah, accurate.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a wonderful memorial. And you, when that night that it happened, you remember something
I
something
remember.
urgent happened out
Yes,
here,
yes,
something
yes.
dramatic.
Yes, I heard the plane in the night, at 2 o'clock in the night.
You heard it?
I heard the plane. I heard it was something wrong with the plane.
Yes.
Yes.
The motors
The
were
motors,
the
yes,
sound
yes,
was
yes.
not right.
Yes, no, not right.
Yes.
And I was feeling that they were in danger, and that they were looking down on Mother World.
Yes.
Earth.
Mother Earth.
And,
yes.
yes. And I felt I had contact with the crew.
Yeah. So there was something urgent was happening.
Urgent, yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
I heard it.
Wow.
I had a nightmare.
Huh.
Quite a nightmare.
Yeah. And you were what? You were how old?
I was nearly 17 years. or
17
16
years.
old,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Right at the end of the war.
And, yes. And my brother and I, we slept in the same room.
Yes.
And I woke him and said that something is wrong.
And the next morning you knew?
Next morning I heard that the plane had crashed in the Lake Mjosa.
Ah.